Seke bula, I'm still getting my moolah. Dọ́là pẹ̀lú náírà, ikú tó pààyà tíṣà, ó lè pààrọ̀ nígà. Kí ló ń fò lókè o? Ẹyẹ ló ń fò lókè o. Kí ló ń rìn nílẹ̀? Àwọn èèyàn ló máa ń rìn nílẹ̀. Má tẹ̀ mí mọ́lẹ̀ owó, má tẹ̀jú ilẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀, kó má bàa dọ̀bálẹ̀. Ìwọ ló máa fi kúnlẹ̀, wọ́n fi kúnlẹ̀ fún wa sójà. Mẹ́ta gbòòsà, àwílò ló kàn bá fún mi lówó mi pizza. Kése kasa blanca, open bible chapter. I step on the seat, mo pe ṣù dànù. Mo kàn lẹ́sẹ̀ kan, ó ta mo régéjì kan. They don't know, I don't go. They want know where I go. Kilo fa pra, kilo fa pata wọ́n fẹ́ ká mi mọ bẹ̀yẹn, ọkọ̀ ti sún fáìnà, àbẹ̀lẹ́nu méjì ṣeré mi. Accept me, wọ́n ti lé mi bọ̀ ọ́n mi, ọmọ lọ́rùn kò lè sú mi. Seke bula, I'm still getting my moolah. Dọ́là pẹ̀lú náírà, ikú tó pààyà tíṣà, ó lè pààrọ̀ nígà. Kí ló ń fò lókè o? Ẹyẹ ló ń fò lókè o. Kí ló ń rìn nílẹ̀? Àwọn èèyàn ló máa ń rìn nílẹ̀. Má tẹ̀ mí mọ́lẹ̀ owó, má tẹ̀jú ilẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀, kó má bàa dọ̀bálẹ̀. Ìwọ ló máa fi kúnlẹ̀, wọ́n fi kúnlẹ̀ fún wa sójà. Mẹ́ta gbòòsà, àwílò ló kàn bá fún mi lówó mi pizza. Kése kasa blanca, open bible chapter. I step on the seat, mo pe ṣù dànù. Mo kàn lẹ́sẹ̀ kan, ó ta mo régéjì kan.
Bad girl, I don't get that too. Call me for after two. I know they sleep like old juju. She sweet like a vanilla. Yourself a Balu Maria. It's a be half from my area. They make me sick like malaria. Padi mi boje jaje. Anje mbako le do mi. Tore mi mo lo do yan. Mo deli peja to ban. Mo le pa Titus, mo le pa kote. I know the club but mo le rose. When she's off, I be her battery. When I'm done, she be my charge. She ride down when I look back. Give me vibes like I do. I mean like my death. Many of my sheets, she accepts. All I want my jate. The worst time she say I'm the best. If I para, she go follow vex. Many things but make her rest. Nigga tell you story. Many bad things she do me. Many bad things I do out. No come follow her in Bible. Tabak by later, got to see. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. So I love her the way I love myself. Jabby my God, I know if you lost myself. I didn't need boje jaje. Anje mbako le do mi. Tore mi mo lo do yan. Mo deli peja to ban. For the pa Titus, for the pa kote. I know the club but mo le rose. When she's off, I be her battery. When I'm done, she be my charge. Titus, mo le pa kote. I know the club but mo le rose. When she's off, I be her battery. When I'm done, she be my charge.
Keys.
Money. Plenty enemy, oh bad. You didn't follow me. And you come on me. Even if not 10 minutes. Maybe I'm a ghetto. Mosiraji lo moto. My grace in the auto. Automatic. One favor me a photo. Èmi ti gbéra láti 4:30. Only one party. One fillet. I drip on check go to one boss. Ìmọ́lẹ̀. Oh, wálẹ̀. When I dey koro do sapa mú mi mo máa ronú. Mo máa sunkún. I don't work it out. I don't pray it out. I don't go mountain off fire. I know there is a day all my pains will go away. So then I party away. I know there is a day all my pains will go away. So then I smoke it away. I feel good, banana, banana. I'm a yummy mother, no banana, banana. I feel good. Baby, I'm a ghetto. Mosiraji lo moto. My grace in the auto. Automatic. One favor me a photo. Èmi ti gbéra láti 4:30. Only one party. One fillet. I drip on check go to one boss. Ìmọ́lẹ̀. Oh, wálẹ̀. Ìmọ́lẹ̀ ò wálẹ̀. Kò ṣe múlẹ̀ lọ ṣe ń jẹ́. Látàyè tipẹ́tipẹ́. Ìmọ́lẹ̀ ò wálẹ̀. Kò ṣe múlẹ̀ lọ ṣe ń jẹ́. Látàyè tipẹ́tipẹ́. Plenty enemy. We didn't follow me. And you come with me.
Timmy J on the track.
I can balance, don't check in my book, back. Back.
Hey, what's up, chat? Sorry that took so long. Um, I had to fix my stuff, but we're back, trying to find peak. This is YouTube's darkest videos 9. Okay.
By
Go low.
Simply Save.
Okay.
There's no safe like Simply Save. On the morning of March 22nd, 2024, the Kern County Sheriff's Office was flooded with calls about an incident that had taken place near the Wasco Amtrak station in Wasco, California. The incident involved a pedestrian who was reportedly walking dangerously close to an active train track before being struck by an oncoming locomotive, a situation that authorities knew was likely unsurvivable. Police arrived at the scene shortly after 8 a.m. and were met with the bloody aftermath of the accident, as they found 48-year-old Horacio Ayala Penosa deceased on the tracks, with the force of the impact being so strong that his body was torn apart and scattered all throughout the area. At first, it was believed to have been a clear-cut
Oh, that's why.
but after interviewing some of the
Like,
witnesses,
why is it so low?
police learned that the man had never stepped in front of the train, and rather he had actually been sucked underneath as a result of walking too closely, painting a clearer picture that this was all a tragic accident. But as police were conducting these interviews, one strange detail kept coming up, as apparently Horatio wasn't the only one on the tracks around the time of the incident, with there allegedly having been one other man standing nearby, a man who took off shortly after Horatio had been killed. And strangely, witnesses believe they saw the man reach down and pick something up before leaving. For the officers on the scene, finding this man became the next obvious order of business, but by this point he had already found himself a few blocks away, where he was spotted by a group of construction workers. The group watched as the man walked towards them, appearing to hold some sort of large item in one of his hands, the same item that had been taken from the train tracks. And the closer he
I'll be so dead ass. I think I watched that video before. I think I've watched it. I thought I hadn't watched it, but I think I watched it before. So we're gonna do the hunt for Africa's most wanted war criminal. Okay. Okay.
It is March 2006.
Actually,
This man
chat. 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 I'm so unprepared for this. I kind of just did this on the fly. Um. No, we just watch this.
accused of fueling Africa's bloodiest wars is basing inside a government safe house. He has been living under Nigerian protection for 3 years. But overnight, everything changes. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, librarian
Give it a second, chat. Hold on. Hold on, chat. I'll be right back. Okay, my bad, chat. I'm back. I want to go get food. Let's start with this video. The hunt for Africa's most wanted war criminal.
Liberia's new president demands his extradition, and now President Obasanjo is under intense pressure to act. You see, this was no ordinary man. This was Charles Taylor, the former president of Liberia. The international community is watching keenly to see what happens, and then he's gone.
Nigerian government officials say former Liberian leader and war crimes suspect Charles Taylor has disappeared from the house where he was living in exile in Nigeria.
I'm gonna eat real quick, so my camera's gonna be off.
Yeah.
The Nigerian government releases a short naval statement. Charles Taylor is missing from his residence. This was quite embarrassing. Almost immediately, phones explode across embassies. Soldiers meant to be on guard in this residence are arrested. Human Rights Watch warns of a catastrophe for justice should Taylor be allowed to escape. At Interpol, a red notice that has been sitting dormant for years suddenly lights up again. Officials began to scramble. A 5-member panel is formed overnight to investigate. Every checkpoint, every airstrip, every border crossing from Calabar to Cameroon is now on high alert. But let's pause here for a second. How did we get here? Why was Charles Taylor living in Nigeria in the first place? And why did he suddenly become the most wanted man on the continent?
We are going to provide all security and necessary incentive for lack.
This is the second of a 2-part series. If you haven't seen the first one, I'll link it right up here for you to check out. For this part, we'll begin from Charles.
Should I go watch the other part first?
Taylor's campaign to be president.
Do I have to watch the other part first?
Security and necessary incentive for lack.
This is the second of a 2-part series. If you haven't seen the first one,
Okay, I'm gonna go watch the other part.
it is December 1985, a cold night in Massachusetts. Inside a county jail sits a man accused of embezzling nearly $1 million. This is Charles Taylor. But Taylor isn't just any inmate. He is a former government official from Liberia, a small African country tied to the United States like no other. He's waiting to be sent back home to face charges of his alleged embezzlement. But one night, something strange happens. A guard opens his cell door. Taylor simply walks out, where a mysterious car is waiting. With no alarms nor resistance, Taylor disappears into the night. He would reappear later in Libya, where he undergoes military training. Years later,
Okay, chat, I'm back.
US intelligence officials would admit that Taylor had been on their payroll. He was considered an asset, even though the CIA has never admitted orchestrating his jailbreak. Some US officials speculated that the spy agency might have orchestrated his escape so he could infiltrate Gaddafi's military setup. Well, years later, after walking out of a US prison, Taylor would return to Liberia with an army. He would unleash one of the most brutal civil wars in modern African history. He would become president, rolling through fear, child soldiers, and blood diamonds, and in the process, he would break Liberia apart. But here's the question no one is asking. Why did the United States, the country that claimed Liberia as its child nation, contribute to its downfall? This is the story of how the US broke Liberia. To understand the story of Liberia, we have to rewind more than a century before Charles Taylor's jailbreak. After the War of 1812, the United States faced a question it didn't know how to answer. What should happen to free black people in a country still built on slavery? You see, free African Americans were growing in number, and in many places, white society saw them as a problem. They were free, but not equal. They lived under constant suspicion, with no real path to belonging, and the louder the debates about slavery got, the more white elites worried that free black communities could spark some sort of uprisings. So In 1816, a strange coalition formed. It had politicians, clergy, even slaveholders. They called themselves the American Colonization Society, or ACS for short. Their idea was basically to solve America's race problem by sending
the atheists? What?
themselves the American Colonization Society, or ACS for short.
Oh, ACS.
Their idea was basically
I'm bugging, I'm dumb as fuck. He said ACS. Okay. Chat, don't mind that.
Solve America's race problem by sending free black people back to Africa. But the problem with this arrangement was a majority of those black Americans had never set foot on Africa. Their ancestors had been taken from it centuries earlier. Africa was as foreign to them as Europe was to white Americans. And yet, the ACS argued that by returning them, America could both ease racial tensions at home and plant a friendly Western-style colony abroad. By the 1820s, the plan was underway. With US Navy support, ACS agents sailed across the Atlantic. They landed on the West African coast at Cape Meserado. Local chiefs resisted, but after violent clashes and lopsided treaties, the Americans secured a foothold. They named the settlement Monrovia. It was here that a new society began to take shape, one designed to look and feel like America. Starting in 1822, ships began carrying formerly enslaved people and freeborn black volunteers across the Atlantic and to what would become Liberia. But this endeavor wasn't without hitches. Life in the early colony was hard. New arrivals had to deal with a hostile climate and tropical diseases. Many fell ill with fever such as malaria and yellow fever soon after landing, and mortality was shockingly high. Up to half of newcomers died within their first year. But this didn't stop the settlers. Here's an 1836 letter from a newly arrived settler at Bassa Cove describing their first weeks.
We have all landed on the shores of Africa and got into our houses. We have been here 3 weeks. None of us have been taken with the fever yet, noting the constant rain and strange new crops like palm oil and rice, sweet potatoes, plantain and banana that were so different from American staples. Despite the hopeful start, we have a prospect of war with the natives. I hope it will be settled without bloodshed.
Yeah, it turns out the conflict that had begun almost immediately as settlers expanded their foothold was not resolved. The ACS agents negotiated land purchases with local chiefs. In reality, these treaties were often signed under duress or miscommunication, and not all local people accepted that they had permanently ceded their territory. Coastal tribes like the Dei, Bassa, and Kru soon resisted the encroachment, sometimes violently. In June 1835, for example, a violent episode known as the Port Crescent Massacre occurred. Bassa warriors, reportedly incited by a local leader, King Joe Harris, attacked a settlement of black American immigrants at Port Crescent, killing numerous settlers. A survivor described the scene of suffering and misery as beyond description, with homes burned and families slaughtered. Such attacks prompted armed reprisals by the colonies and their allies. These more vulnerable settlements had to unite for survival. By the late 1830s, all the different colonies, some sponsored by Pennsylvania, Mississippi, and other state societies.
Yeah, I don't even know why I became so locked in. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm good.
Consolidated into the Commonwealth of Liberia under ACS oversight. Over the next few decades, more black Americans and a few Afro-Caribbeans relocated to Liberia. The early settlers, later known as Americo-Liberians, brought with them American customs, religion, and a determination to build a free republic for themselves. You see, Liberia wasn't just a colony.
I might need to go. It's like an actual emergency. Stop for the show.